So, one of the most important things for you to manage about sales, about growing your business and signing up clients is actually how you manage your own thoughts. How do you keep yourself in good spirits even when you're in a sales rut and people just aren't signing up? And it's not always easy. And I was just asked this morning, how do I stay calm? Because I do stay calm. And so I thought it was a great question. And she basically said, if I can explain this, this will help so many people. So I'm hoping it will help you. And so, really, the very first thing that I think is so key to just really have ingrained in yourself is to manage your own expectations. When you go into a sales call, what are you expecting from that call? And a lot of salespeople, and also when you have your own business, whether you're selling for yourself or for other people, you can have that expectation of going into the call with the expectation to sell. I'm going to sell and then I'll be successful. And if you have that expectation, you will set yourself up for disappointment because you're not going to sell every single call. It's just not the nature of the game. So it's really important that you have the right expectation. And I go into more detail about this in my ebook, which I wrote some weeks back. And really, take a look at that. It'll be helpful for you, I'm sure. And so basically, the expectation for me whenever I go into a call is to find out what problem the prospect has, and if my solution is something that will help, and then I help them make the best decision for them. So it's a very different expectation about myself and also about the prospect. Then if I were to go in thinking, yeah, I'm going to sell this person, it's a very, very different energy. So that's the very first thing, the expectations, managing that. The second point, and this might even actually be the first point, I think it has to stand above everything, is trust. Trust that the right people are going to find you, they're going to sign up, and you actually have to talk to some people where it's not the right fit to find the ones that are a fit. As I said, you never have 100% of people signing up. If you did, then that's a different story that we need to talk about, because there's a reason for it being 100%, which isn't necessarily good. So that's a totally different conversation. But just, trusting that there will be people who sign up, and it's just a question of persevering. Knowing that, like in nature, like with the sea or with the ocean, that there's high tide and there's low tide, and sometimes we have to go through low tide periods before the high tide comes again. It's just the nature of business. So trusting, and also knowing that if someone says no, it might not be a hard no. It could very well be a not quite yet, but later. And this is something that I've experienced again and again. If they have a good experience with you on the call, and they just leave loving your energy, loving everything you stood for, just knowing, wow, yeah, I like that person, I think I can learn from that person, then chances are they can come back to you. So always bear that in mind, and do reach out to people you've been in touch with before. It might not have been the right time, whereas now it could be. So please, it's what people call follow-up. Make sure you do follow up. And I think the most important thing is, besides this ability to let go, have a new blank slate whenever you go into a new call, the really important thing is, what meaning do you give it? If someone doesn't sign up, if you've had, 10, 20 calls in a row where someone's not signed up, I know this happens to people. If you have that happen to you, what are you making it mean about yourself? And make sure that you are kind with yourself and don't make it mean anything bad about you, because it's not about that. It's has a whole different meaning than it being anything about you. It could be anything to do with the process, could be to do with the skill that you have to learn. But really, make sure that you don't make it mean anything bad, because if you do, then you'll have the next sales call and you'll go into it with a very, very different feeling about it and about yourself than if you go in feeling trusting, feeling that you're open, that you're curious, you're you're thinking, how can I serve this person best to see what it is they need and how I can help? It's a very, very different energy than if you're going into anything with this feeling, I have got to make a sale. I've got to make a sale. You want to get out of that. So yeah, my own mission for myself was to keep this as short as possible. So I'm going to sign off now, and let me know how you find these tips, and if you already do this or if you don't, what was a big aha. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so I'll be back